Hi, and welcome back to another video tutorial. Today we are covering Docker Custom Image 2. Before we head down to it, there is some command I want to cover, and one of that is assigning pods to Docker container. We assign pods to Docker container because we want it to interact with perhaps another service or local host. Let me show you an example. I have copied this down so I don't have to type in. So I'll explain over here. When you do docker run -d -p, when you assign -p, then you put in the pod :pod. So what does this mean? The first pod means the current local host pod. Then the second pod is the image container image pod. So what I'm doing here is that I want to map 8000 into my current local host 8001. Then -e is environment. These are default settings for Splunk. So I put in the password called password. And -name I already taught you says that when I create a Splunk container instance, I'll name it as Splunk. So the other command is -h. -h means host name. So I call it Splunk index 1. Why I do this? Because once I created the container with just by default, it will give me a random string of the hash key, but I do not want that as my host name. So if I want to define it, I will have to declare it over here -h, then the name that I want. So right now I'm going to use the Splunk latest, and I press enter. Alright, so docker ps, I have the Splunk starting up, and from here you can see that port 8001 taking from 8000. So if I go to localhost, let me show you, hold on. (8001). You can see that I'm in Splunk. So basically I'm forwarding the port of the container to my local host. So let me show you the Splunk web first. So I go in, let me log in, and you can see that over here there is only one app, which is search and reporting, and previously I have already downloaded the another add-on for Splunk. So if I want to copy from my local host to the Splunk instances, I will have to do this. Let me copy it. Alright, so let me explain. Docker space cp stand for copy, space the current path, the file that exists in your local host that you want to copy it to the container, which I call it Splunk, colon, you must have this colon, then the /path. So this is the path. So I will put inside the TMP. Press enter, and that's done. So I will go in docker execute -it -u0. -u0 is user 0. User 0 is root basically. So Splunk, give it a modifier. I want to use bash. Let's go to cd/tmp, and you can see over here the file is being copied to this container. So I have to tar to extract this file. Done. So ls, I have this folder extracted. So I have to move this guy to opt Splunk tc apps. Right, so ls, okay. So for Splunk, if you have done something on it, you need to restart. So restart, take a while. Alright, so admin password. You can see I've installed it here. So well, let's go to the other part of the video. Alright, the next command I want to teach you is the docker inspect. What does docker inspect do? So it allows you to check the network IP address of the Docker instance, for example Splunk. So I'll do docker inspect Splunk, and you'll see this network, the MAC address, then over here the gateway and the IP address. With this you can do manual routing. Alright, so with all this covered, let's move on to the real course that we are going to teach you right now, Docker Custom Image Tool. We will be creating a Node.js web application in a Docker container, as well as a Redis server residing on another container, which we will be networking them together, and finally is able to access it from a web outside the container from the local host. The web that we are interacting with will have a counter to count the number of visits to the web page. Our goal of the project is to brush up and practice on the skill that I have taught over the past few lessons, and to understand a new method, which is Docker Compose. We will explain what is Docker Compose later. There will be a little bit of coding for prerequisite, so just copy and paste. I will make it as simple as is possible for you. Alright, let's start with prerequisite files that we will have to create. Since we are working on a website, we will have to touch on Java and JSON files. But first, we have to create a project folder. I have already created, so it's called project A. And you have to go into this project folder to add these two files. So I will open up my editor, which will be Node, and create file, new file, and I will have to call this package.json, and the other file will be index.js. Okay, first let's go to package.json. For this, we have to open curly brackets, and then tab, type in dependencies, and within the dependencies I will want to have express colon and all version, and I will have to key in, because like we say we're going to use Redis, so we have to declare Redis, and then for the version I will also be all, doesn't matter to me. So after dependencies, I will want to have scripts, then for the scripts I will do start curly open inverted node index.js. Right, so that's it. Save it. Okay, do take note that the tabs indentation is not required. It's only meant for read friendly purpose. Okay, so let's go to the index.js. I will start with declaration. library and variables. Okay, so for the libraries and variables, we'll be using constants, constant express, require, open bracket, and we're using express, so this is a library, so then the other one will be Redis. Require Redis semicolon. Remember the semicolon because this is a JS file, so all the semicolon is required. So library. Don't worry about if you don't know what I'm typing out, because it's okay. This course is about Docker, so I'm just I will put in all the command beside each of the lines for you to understand. Okay, so I will declare my app. So you can call it anything. So for me, I will call it my app equals to using express. So oops, sorry. Okay, create my app. Then I also have to create a client for the Redis. So Redis dot create client, open bracket, open curly brackets. Okay, you may not know what I am doing right now, but actually I am preparing the Redis. So I will later part you will understand. So over here I will declare say that Redis dash server, the host name, and I will declare the port for the Redis. So it's the Redis port, so 6379. Right. I'll put the semicolon. I haven't closed it, so I'll put the command setup connection for Redis server. Right. So after that, let me think. Okay, we will need to, for our web page, we will need to do a reset of the count. So whenever the first load, so client dot set, the variable will be count to 0. So I initialize. So over here I'll call this initialization. You will see this very often in most programs. Developers will try to clear certain value of variables. So over here I'll call it, I'll ask it for 0. So whenever someone try to access to the page, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will call this reset count to 0 when initial start. Okay, so we will go into our functions. We will be using my app. So my app dot get, open bracket. When someone reach to my root page, I want it to request response, and this is an arrow function. So want to say client dot get count, comma, error count to another arrow function. So rest dot send, I'm going to say total count of visitors to my page equals to space. Then I'm going to concatenate my variable count. Remember to put this semicolon, and response if user reach to root directory of web. Okay, so after that I'll say client dot set count. Okay, because this count may be in string, so we need to convert it to integer, a number. So I'll say pass int count, then plus 1. Okay, over this line basically means that I want to set count equals to count plus 1. In other language it will be in C language will be count equals to count plus something like that, or plus 1. So count plus 1. Okay, then oops, the arrow function, the arrow function. Okay, the last portion is my app dot listens to the port. I will give probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do this arrow function, curly braces, then console dot log, sorry, right, port at 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here you can only see the logs in the debug mode. This is JavaScript, so basically meant for troubleshooting. Port 1, 2, 3, 4 at console. So we are done. Save this. Now that we have created both prerequisite files, we will have to create a Docker file for our custom image, just like last video. So as you remember, make sure that you are in the current working directory. So we have to create a Docker file. Over here, I click Docker file. Okay. In the previous video, I demonstrate on creating a custom image file. However, I did not show you how to add your own files into your image. Follow through the steps I will explain. So just as before, key in paste image, then I key in dependencies and steps. Okay, so the last part is tc commands. Right, so over here I will be using from node. I'll be be using Alpine. Then I will declare work directory. So work directory is the path that when you create the image, where is your original root is. So if this is a project, I will want it to be in perhaps project A folder. So I will store in OPT, because most of the installation for Linux, if it's a program, it will be stored in OPT/something. So I'll do it this way. Some people will store it in their own user account, but because this is a new image, it has no other user, so I'll be storing it in OPT. Alright, so next would be we'll be copying the package.json to the path, the project A. Then I will run npm install. Next, I'll copy every other things from this copy everything from the current working folder into the destination. Right. So the last part is to, after installation, I will want to run npm. So npm, and I will start it. So start. Okay, save it. So normally I would build my image by docker build -t the user / project name, right? Then current location. But let's say if you have a production environment and a test bed environment, and you want to have two separate Docker file but not messing up each other copy. So how do you do it? We can actually create two different types of Docker file. So let me create a new one. I call it div.dockerfile. Alright, so we copy the whole chunk and paste it here, save it. Alright, so let's go to the command prompt. Over at the command prompt, inside the same folder, I'll do docker build -f for file name. So div.dockerfile space -tag and my username, user account /project A and dot. Press enter, and this will start to build. It's okay for this because this is just a warning. And to verify, docker images, and here you go. I'm not going to test the website because I know that even if I test it without Redis server connection, the project will not run. So now the golden question, what is next? Just now I mentioned Docker Compose. So what is it? Docker Compose is a way to group containers together, and within that group, it allows to see each other via its virtual network, just like a cluster of system as service. So within Docker Compose command, you can call at the same time to turn it on and off. So I have to create a Docker Compose file. I click on new, under the same project, docker-compose.yml. Basically, this is a YAML file. So first thing, you need to know that YML file is tab sensitive. So version, the first thing you do, version :3. Then I give it a services. So I'm going to do a tab. This means that I have a certain service, I can call it this service, then I have another service called this. So basically it means that service, there is two services. One is the ASD, SADSA, the other one is FGJDF, blah blah blah. But I'm giving an example, that's all. So, but what we are going to do is define Redis dash server colon, then I give it a tab. Basically this is a child of Redis server. So I say that I want to have image, and the image is Redis. Alright, then I say I want restart. I will go through what is restart later, so bear with me first. And restart always. Then the next item, the next service will be node app colon, then tab. So under node app, I will have say build dot, and I'll define ports. And for ports, I have a range. So I will say 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So this is the Docker pod, and this is my local host. Right. So then I'll do restart always. Give it a save. Docker Compose has the function called restart, and there is 4 ways to declare this. The first one that I'm using right now is always. So basically it means that if my Redis server crash, it will automatically restart the process and boot up, regardless what happened. And so that's the same for my node app. If I change this to no, it means that it doesn't do any restart at all. No is as simple as just leaving it blank. So if I change this to on failure, so what does this mean? It means that when there is an error code, then it will restart. So error code can be developer induced. So then there's another type is the unless stop. So unless stop is when the developer decide to force stop it, or else it will still reboot. So this is similar as always, just that over here require the developer to force it to stop. Alright, so after we have saved this, we can go back to our command prompt. Right now we are going to use Docker Compose to build our both server. So Docker dash compose up. When you do this, it will build the both hosts. I'll let you see. Alright, so over here it says that ready to accept connection from the Redis server, and for our node app it says waiting for port 1234. So we can go to Chrome and test it out. Localhost 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, you can see over here say total count of visitor to my page is 0. If I refresh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So great, our project is working. Alright, so going back to the command prompt, right now we are in this page, so we can cancel it. Right, so if we do a docker dash compose ps, you can see that I have two projects, both exit with a value of 0, and if I go back to desktop, I do the same, and you can see that docker compose could not find any YAML files. So this command docker dash compose ps can only run in the folder where it has that file. So I go back. Okay. So let me try docker ps. I have nothing. Okay. Right. So there's a way to bring up the docker compose at the same time use back the same command prompt windows. So that is docker compose up, which you bring up both of the servers, then you -d. So the same command when we try to run, remember, -dt. So over here I put -d, and you will boot up, and you realize that it doesn't actually rebuild the whole thing again. So let's go back to the web page, and let's do refresh. Right, so let's say docker dash compose ps, and you should see both of them are upstate. Then to bring it down is docker dash compose down. So after bringing it down, let's say I want to build it again. Okay, let's go back to our node. We're going to build it again. Let's say we delete away this text. I don't like this text, I delete this text. Save it. Going back. Then I do a docker compose up -d, and guess what will happen? It don't rebuild what we have just done. So we will have to, okay, to prove this, let's go back. So if I see total count of visitor, we have already deleted the visitor text, but it's still displaying here. So let's bring this down first. Down. So the way to clear that is to remove it. So we go to images, and you can see that we have the project. Okay, I have to delete this guy. Docker RMI force delete. Right, then now if we let's double check, the visitor is gone. So if we do docker dash compose up -d, this time around it will start to rebuild again. Okay, and we can verify it. Go back to this page, do refresh, and now you can see that the visitors is gone. As you can see, if you want to modify certain things in your code, it is pretty troublesome to bring down the Docker Compose and then remove the image, rebuild again the Docker Compose and bring it up. So we do have a solution to this, and it is called Docker Volumes. Docker Volumes means that I want to modify my work on the fly without rebuilding my Docker image. The command is docker run -p is the just to assign the port, and -v / OTP project a nodes modules -v c /users/ this is my folder path, so hold on, let me key in everything first. And then image ready. Alright, so basically you have to do docker run this is to assign the port. We talk about this later. So -v is to declare volume. I want to map my local host, the project path, everything in my project path into the dockers inside the docker, the place that it's supposed to replace. So opt project A, and then you specify the image ID. So by doing this part, you can already modify on the fly. However, when you build the some of the project that you build may require certain dependencies, and for node modules, because I run my project in the file opt project A, so the nodes modules dependency is in project A / node modules. So over here is to declare the dependencies. However, I'm not going to run this since I'm running Docker Compose. This command is suitable for a single container. So for Docker Compose, you will have to do this. Let me delete this string first. So for Docker Compose, you need to modify your Docker Compose.yml YAML file. So let me go to my Docker Compose. Over here in the Docker Compose, there is two services, which is the servers Redis-server, and the other one is node-app. So if you have things to modify, you have to declare in each of them. So right now I will only modify the node app. So I will modify from here onwards. So start with build. Remember, we have created the div.docker.dockerfile. So when I say build dot, basically I am building Dockerfile. However, if you want to do a Docker Compose for the div file, so you will have to delete away this tab. So you have to declare context dot, and then you have to declare Dockerfile div.dockerfile, the file name. Right. So next, I want to assign volume. So over here I declare volumes, and then I give it a tab, do a list. So dash is list. So over here I say dot means local, and then I say I want to goes to project A. So basically this line means that mirror whatever is inside my local directory into the Docker instance directory, project A. So now I want to declare my dependencies. So same thing, dash slash opt project A, then node underscore modules. For your dependencies depend on different servers. So if you are using Redis, then you have to do a Google to find out where is the dependency stores at. So you have to assign to that path, right? So save it, and let's go back to our command prompt. So now let's do docker dash compose up dash d. Okay, let's do docker compose ps, and both of them are up. Let's go back to our web page, and total count of something to my page, right? Great. So if I do a refresh, it works. Alright, so let's do approving. Let's modify it. So let's go back to our index.js. Let's give something, total count of something, save. And over here, you will need to bring it down first. Docker dash compose down. Right, then docker compose up dash d. So this would refresh it, and if I do F5, now you see that it's modified almost on the fly, because this is how node modules work. There is another way. If you really want to modify it, that is by going into Docker PS. So we know that this container is the node app. So if you run into it, okay, so docker execute, where is IT, this guy, sh. So ls, you can actually modify over here, but it really depends on how do you want to do your work. Alright, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you have practiced alongside with me and is now familiar on Docker image and Docker compose. I will see you in the next tutorial. Please help me to like, subscribe and comment. Appreciated, and thanks.